A lot of LLMs and AI tools like Cursor really struggle to use React Router version 7 with its framework mode. They either want to just use the declarative mode that React Router has, or they want to fall back and try and use Remix APIs and Remix imports. It's a really frustrating problem to run into if you just want to build something. So I'm going to show you how you can fix this really easily with Cursor rules. Note this applies to pretty much every LLM. You just give it context. That's all Cursor rules really are. Not unique to Cursor. All right, let's go ahead and initialize a new React Router template. Go ahead and open it up. And let's run it just to make sure it's all working correctly. Cool, we got our basic default React Router template. So I'm just going to open up the chat window. I'm going to use Claude 3.5 Sonnet, just so I'm using an older version that probably hasn't been trained on any of the latest stuff. And here I'm going to paste in a very simple prompt. We're just going to say, hey, make a contacts app in this React Router template. I want an omnipresent sidebar listing all the contacts, a simple fake database to interact on the server. I want each contact to have its own page. I want an edit page, and I just use Tailwind to do all the styling. So we're just going to have at it and see what happens. So pretty quickly, we can already see that it is making some bad assumptions. It's trying to pull in remix-run/react and remix-run/node. This is not going to work. We do not want to add these packages. We want to use React Router v7 framework mode. So we could just keep iterating at this point and try and tell it all the things that it's doing wrong, or we could just pull in some Cursor rules that I've already written. So here in this repo, I've got these Cursor rules, and they are a work in progress, but they already are pretty decent. And it basically just tells Cursor, or whatever LLM or AI tool you're using, just a bunch of different things about React Router framework mode. Okay, so let's just plop those in, and we're gonna just reload everything. So we'll give it the exact same prompt and see what it does this time. So already we can see it knows I'm using React Router v7 because it's using those Cursor rules. It knows to use the routes.ts convention, so that's really nice. And it's trying to use the new generated types, which is cool. It's gonna check later to make sure that these types are generated correctly. So here it's going to prompt that we run the type check because I've told it that the type check will generate these types. Found one error. Looks like it left over the home.tsx, so it's going to ask to remove that. Okay, running the type check again. We can go ahead and skip this. It thinks that we need to install that, but we've already got it set up. And we'll go ahead and run npm run dev, and let's see what it created. Cool, this looks like a contacts page. That's pretty cool. Let's see if we can edit things. So I'll take Brooks Librand, and we'll just go ahead and save that. Great, that says Brooks Librand. My email's wrong, but that was my fault. So if we go to the edit page, we can see that it is actually using a loader and an action. It's using all the generated types. That's really great. It's using the generated types here. And it is just using a lowercase f form. So that's a bit of a bummer, but we can just tell it like use fetcher form in contact edit. So it added that, and we can edit it again. I'll change this to Brooks, and we can see that there's a quick pending state. We can obviously make that a little bit better, but it knows exactly the tools that it has because we've told it everything that we want it to use. But maybe you want to go further and use something outside of the Cursor rules, and you don't want to repeat all the documentation in the Cursor rules. Well, you can just use an MCP server to do this. So GitMCP is a really, really cool tool where you can basically make an MCP server for any GitHub repository. So I've already got this one set up, but here I'm just going to say in the sidebar, I want the favorite stars to be optimistic. Let's use fetcher to solve this. Oh, use fetchers. Use the React Router documentation. And so it's going to prompt to run that tool. Now contacts root is using use fetchers. There it is. So let's see how it actually did. Over here, I can see that I've got my stars and I can select and deselect them. So this seems pretty good. I'm sure there's lots more tweaking I want to do, but my LLM is not limited by its inability to know React Router 7 anymore. So yeah, you don't need to wait for the models to retrain on our documentation. You don't need us to rename our project. Just take these rules, tweak them however you like, and you're off to the races.